speaking of a release date discussion, Mighty Number 9 has been delayed for a third time.
Yeah.
And it's just basically been delayed indefinitely. It has no new release date this time.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be out in February, and now they're just like, we got to keep working on it. It'll be out when it's done.
It's such baloney.
Yeah.
Well, their excuse was they're adding these networking features and functions, and so it's that, and they said that, and they said because they're releasing on so many platforms that like it's challenging for really, which I'm sensitive to. Like, yeah, you know, Vita and Wii, and just across the board all these platforms, and with a small team that can be tough. But I also, here's the thing that frustrates me or makes me a little angry about this news is they announced in January, a month before the release date, an indefinite delay. I'm like, dude, you guys knew before now. They must have known, what, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months ago that they weren't going to be
What was the
releasing
other
in
game that
February.
Inafune announced and is working on
Yeah,
that was supposed to come out
the
this year?
Castlevania.
Bloodline?
Yeah.
No.
The-
It is-
No, you said
Blood is in the
you're talking
title.
about red dust, red something.
got
Yeah,
blood in the
no,
title.
it's a sci-fi with a dog. There's like a robot dog. And we got little paper cutout things at E3 for them.
My ignorance shines forth.
Recore.
here.
Recore.
Oh wait,
Thank
Recore,
you,
not the
Sean.
red thing. Okay, I was thinking
Yeah.
about the other one. That's
I was thinking of the
another
Igarashi game.
No,
Yeah.
so was I.
Oh, you think of Igarashi?
We both made the
Inafune.
same mistake.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Recore is another game that also got delayed, but like I can't believe it's even close to coming out because it was just debuted at E3.
It feels very disingenuous a month before a game's release date to have an indefinite delay and claim like, oh, we're just need more. Like, you don't need that much more time when you're a month away. Like, they just knew they weren't a month away forever ago. It's frustrating.
All that said, and I think it's a absolutely correct point you're making. I am glad that they delayed it rather than release it incomplete, which occasionally happens.
Do you
as
think
well
it'll have
for
a Wily's
publisher
Castle?
pressure. But that'd be amazing if it did. Only if it has that do 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 do
Yeah.
do do do
Dr.
do
Wily.
thing.
I love the map screen,
Dr. Wily.
only on Wily's Castle.
Yeah.
It's like they give you the map screen they're going through, and you're like, oh yeah, I did kind of just go through that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally don't think that this looks up to Mega Man standards. I don't know.
What I've played of it, I've really liked.
This delay prompted a GameScoop fan to write into us. I believe it's their first time writing in. This is Big Tony style.
Oh, I haven't heard from him in a while.
They say, at what point before a game is released do you think developers should announce the release date? I asked this after noticing Mighty Number 9's second delay. They are deciding to hold off on an official release date until they are sure. Makes you wonder why they even decided to announce dates before when they were not able to hit them.
Damon, are you Big Tony style?
I've met Big Tony style.
Have you? Is
I
he
mean-
big?
He's a nice man. He's not big.
Oh, that's
You've met him, but have you ever
I may have met
seen
him too.
he and
I
I
don't
in
know.
the same room together?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. No, I guess it's not me.
I was just reading an old piece.
good.
Have you ever read the last days of Fallout 2? Or not Fallout 2, jeez. I don't even know how to
Half-Life
talk. Half-Life 2, pardon me. You know, the
Final hours. of
Right,
Half-Life
final
2?
hours of Half-Life 2, which is actually about like the last year of its development after that huge delay.
Yes.
And that's a wonderful piece, but
By
it
Jeff
does.
Keighley.
Yeah, it does offer some. If I knew the title of it, I could have remembered the author. It does offer some insight into how even the best of intentions can go terribly awry in this process. I like to be forgiving on it. I do think that when you're getting that close, you should be a little more transparent. I think.
Well, and
I
they're
think just raise
kickstarted.
that.
That's another reason to be transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of what, I think to get to heart of Big Tony style question, for a big AAA action game, it makes sense to announce your release date far in advance because it's a little bit like summer movies. Like, you don't want Call of Duty and Halo coming out on the same day. So they put their stake in the ground and say, here's when our stuff's dropping. You know, we're Fallout. Tomb Raider, you can launch on this day if you want, but you might want to, move a week or two.
They didn't.
But for a smaller game, yeah, I guess I'm a little bit mixed up. I don't know any clear advantage to, months ago saying, yep, we're releasing on this day. Like, why do that to yourself?
A lot of people point to Fallout 4 for the ideal way to do it. Announce at E3, ship in November.
Yeah.
I point to George R. R. Martin.
Do you?
Yeah,
He has always said when it's done, it'll be done.
The
but
Mighty
then his
Number 9.
publishers put the release dates on.
Mighty
it.
Number
It's
9 of the book world, as they
Yeah.
say.
Yes, that's what they've always said.
Well, all right then. Maybe something to know.
No, I mean, I just don't.
A song of Iceman and Fireman,
That's pretty good.
There you go.
Flame Man.
That's pretty good.
Flame?
That's pretty good. Heatman, Flame Man.
Heatman.
There's several of them.
Do you think developers should try and hold their release date until the game is just about finished and ready to go?
The other end of it is we don't know what the publishers and the platforms are requiring of them too. I mean, it may be that for one of these multiple platforms that they were releasing on, they had to arrange it ahead of time. That's possible. So they went ahead and made a release date announcement because of that.
Yeah.
We don't know that end of it. So it's hard for me to say. But ideally, that 4-month window is pretty great. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the way to do it. Ooh, game, it's coming out. Somebody in the office speculates, I don't remember who, they like to joke that, it may be Dan, that Half-Life 3 one day is just going to appear on Steam.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally think that's how Valve will do it.
That would be
There's only a
amazing.
few companies that can get away with it. Yeah, I mean, I kind of think it's a miracle that video games get made at all. They just feel impossibly complex, and all the disciplines they bring together, from design to art to music to voice and all the rest of it, and then all the partners that you have to partner with to get it on their digital stores. Like, I run features at IGN, so I deal farther out than most people. Like, I work on big projects that talk to, product and editorial and video and foreign offices, and like, that's like such a tiny thing compared to making a giant, many hour long video game that I don't know how you can see into your crystal ball and know where you're going to be in 12 months. Like, it feels impossible to me.
Yeah, there must
So
be
it's a
some other
miracle every time it
purpose.
even happens.
There must be some other purpose for a release date. Maybe it's just to get another press release out or something. I don't know.
Well, it also
Because
lights a
I've
fire
been
under
trained
the
not
staff.
to pay attention to them. I just
Yeah.
don't. I mean, since Zelda 2, right?
That's true. That was a giant lie. They're like, keep looking for it. It's
Yeah.
out there somewhere, maybe. And
Chip-
yeah, in
and there's
Canada
the chip
it
shortage.
was.
But every Zelda game has always said, "Here's the window it's coming out in," and then 2 years later, it's still not out.
Yeah, I think we were.
So
we
I
were
just don't. I don't care anymore.
We were
It's
talking
like,
about doing an
that doesn't mean
infographic where,
anything.
like, I think literally every Zelda game's been delayed.
That's amazing.
Or that might not be true, but like it's famous, like it's a franchise famous for
Yeah.
its delays. I think part of it is internal. Like, this is you telling your team, like, yo, guys, this is the day. Like, keep working. Like, you
Yeah.
need to give people those deadlines in order to eventually just stop tinkering with stuff. And
Fight
ship.
against feature creep and just be like, we're going to lock this down.
There is plenty else to play while we wait for Mighty Number 9.
Yeah. My goodness gracious, there is.